Belize, based on Ambergris Caye, and I am really excited to be interviewing somebody new today, and hopefully in a series of interviews. But we have a new announcement here on Ambergris Caye, and Best Western has signed with one of our local hotels. I actually happen to have a few listings in this property, so I wanted to share with you a little bit about it, how it's come about, what it's all about, and I wanted to bring in the professionals to be able to do that with you. So today I'm here with Patrick Hiebert. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He is the chief, and he's the Chief Operations Officer for ECI Development. Patrick, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you arrived here. I see that you are an expat that moved here to Belize, and so how long ago did you come here and why?
Well, originally I'm a Canadian citizen still, and I chose to become a resident of Nicaragua, of all places. Might surprise people, but it's a beautiful country like Belize, and I've spent quite a bit of time in Belize because the ECI development has properties here, and so I get the best of both worlds. I get to spend some time in the Caribbean and some time on the Pacific, and various countries around. The ECI development has a resort and residence community building company. We have properties here in Belize, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, etc. So we're spread out throughout Latin America. But I've been in Belize now pretty much almost full time for 2.5 years. As the main impetus for that was we are building a large Marriott resort on the waterfront here on Ambergris Caye, and I'm living in another building in the same resort that you're in right now, which is our Grand Baymen Gardens, and so that's where I spend most of my time. That's where my wife and I are quarantining right now. So.
It's not too bad, is it, quarantining on an island in the Caribbean Sea?
No, it certainly could be a lot worse. In fact, yesterday evening we went out for a little sail on the sun at sunset, and we quarantined on the sailboat for a little while, so that was a nice change.
Oh, that's lovely. For those of you that don't know, today is the 26th of May, and we are over a month with no new COVID cases popping up, and we are probably nearly 3.5 weeks now of being completely COVID-free. So of the 18 people that did catch the virus, they now recovered, and we are now able to start moving around within our borders very safely. We are still keeping the borders closed because we want to make sure that we are safe as soon as possible for everybody to come back and visit. So you've been here nearly 2.5 years, and one of your biggest tasks was to work with Best Western. Now, I know that these things don't come easily. There's been a couple of branded hotels that have signed here in Belize, but they've been more higher-end hotels. We have a Marriott, we also have Wyndham and a Hilton, and then we have Best Western that's been in Belize for some time, but you've managed to get them to sign to Grand Baymen Gardens. Tell us a little bit about the journey to get us here and what that will mean to the owners and to the island.
Sure, yes. I mean, it really started as an offshoot from our Marriott project, and we've hired a world-class operator for when the Marriott opens, and they were staying here at Grand Baymen Gardens while visiting Ambergris Caye and saying, well, this property would make sense as a Best Western for the island, and we're very excited about it because there's only one other Best Western in the country, and we'd be the only one on Ambergris Caye on the island. So, yeah, as you said, like there's the Hilton, Curio, the Marriott, Autograph, and other higher, I guess, number of stars in the resort industry, but there really hasn't been a trusted brand name on the island in a more affordable category. Yeah. And I think that's where Best Western really fits in, and everybody in the world pretty much knows the Best Western name. It's the third largest hotel chain in the world. So it was kind of a purposeful target for us. The Grand Baymen Gardens property, units, beautiful pool, the gym, tennis courts and everything. And the units are really nice, but we wanted to make it's an off-water project. It's not a property. It's not on the beach, but it's only, I don't know, Kate, what's a 2-minute walk to the beach from here?
It is about a 2-minute walk. I'm sitting actually in one of the units as we speak at the moment after doing a live virtual tour. So if you are watching now, firstly, do put your comments in the comments box as you're watching this. We will certainly get back to you. If you need to contact me directly, it's kate@frontstreetbelize.com, or you can call me on my US number, 321-300-9399, or on my office number, which is Belize, 501-226-5952. Yeah, Grand Baymen is actually situated probably about a 20-minute walk from town, a 5-minute drive to town, and a 2-minute walk to the ocean. You literally walk from here, you go, what is that, Patrick? I'm pointing that way.
You go east.
And then you're right on the water. ECI actually does have a property there that is going to be changed into, which is just going through the process. They've just broken down on a new Marriott hotel there. And even though it will be for its Marriott residences, there will be used to people outside of the Marriott to go and use things like the bar, maybe the restaurant, and the beach as well will be available to those purchasing and using the facilities there. So there'll be a dive shop. Everything is in walking distance here, whether you're looking for a restaurant, a bar, a supermarket, a gas station, a place to go buy meat. There are other resorts just in walking distance too. And the rooms are really lovely. I mean, they are 430 square foot, but perfectly formed. You have, in this unit that I'm in particularly, you have a full-size bathroom, shower, toilet, sink, and you have it's a queen-size bedroom with built-in closet space. You have the open-plan living kitchen area with a lovely breakfast bar for you to sit up and eat breakfast and enjoy before you head out and enjoy everything the island has to offer. I think these units were built in 2005 was when they were started. Is that correct?
Well, the first building was at that point. We have 4 buildings currently on the property. Some of them are only, the one I'm in right now is the Explorer building, and I believe it's 3 or 4 years old. So, they range right through. So.
Mm-hmm. And then the pool is vast. You've got a pool, a tennis court, and a full gym. Those are really great at the moment. Are there going to be any upgrades or anything to the facilities?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a number of things that, as you might have seen, the pool is kind of in the middle of doing an upgrade. We've created some swim-up bar area and kind of a second bar restaurant seating area with a sand play area for kids and another area that's going to be it already is a barbecue, kind of a barbecue pit. We put some barbecues in there and people are using those quite a bit. I step out on the deck of my unit and I smell the barbecue pit being used, so that's always making me hungry. But
yeah. And there's gardens just behind the units. Do you have plans for landscaping for that area?
Yeah, I mean, the reason it's called now it's called the Best Western Grand Baymen Gardens. We're really proud to be a Best Western now, and the buildings are basically being built in a horseshoe shape, and the inside of the horseshoe is really going to be the gardens, and we have a number of architectural plans for ultimately what that's going to look like, with seating areas and palapas and paths and kind of little English garden type things, jungle-y areas, and just a really nice space to spend time in. On the other side of the buildings, we have the pool. I think the pool is, if not the largest, one of the largest pools on the island.
Yeah.
And we got the double tennis courts, and the gym is significant as well. We're going to be moving our reception area for the hotel into that gym building as well.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Just so it's a little bit more of a efficient, streamlined entry and everything. So it's going to be a lot of things going on. The units are going to be being upgraded as well. We're going to be doing a lot of our other projects with ECI. ECI is the parent company to Grand Baymen, and so the parent company of the gardens here. And we're doing a lot of other projects, like one of them is called the TESS community, and that's the TESS stands for Tiny eco-friendly smart homes. And so we're really getting into that genre a lot. You know, tiny homes, much like apartment living, is becoming more and more popular. Obviously, the eco-friendly side is, you know, good for the planet, has a positive impact. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the smart technology that we're using in those projects, we're going to be applying into the gardens units as well in the Best Western program. So, for instance, you'll have smartphone locks on the unit, on the door to the unit. So you can check yourself into the unit if you come in late or whatever, and we can send you a code on your phone, and you can unlock your door with it. And of course, that's refreshed every time somebody checks out. We have air conditioning controllers that are Wi-Fi remote based. So an owner of unit could decide, you know, I want to dry out the unit or something, whatever. You could turn on his air conditioning from somewhere in Iowa or whatever if you wanted to, and control it here. And you can do lots of things like setting minimum set points, and I'm getting into the weeds a little bit, but that really controls the cost of the utilities for the owner as well.
That sounds amazing. Are some of those things, so this is in the tiny home project, that's a little boat trip away from the mainland, from the main island, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, it's on West Ambergris. It's really exciting, and it's becoming very popular as we're just finishing up the design on it. If you picture those kind of Tahiti, you know, walking down a pier to your little tiny home cabin that's kind of off of the pier, that's the same idea. There's not a lot of that done in the Caribbean, and so we're, you know, one of the first that we know of really on Ambergris. So
yeah, they sound fantastic. Going back to the Best Western here, actually on the mainland. So what is the plan for it at the moment? Currently there are 4 buildings that are already built. I think there's 56 units in total. How many buildings in total are there going to be on site? And what is the estimated time that should be completed?
All right, there's a lot of questions packed into there.
Yes.
Let me start. There's currently 54 units among the 4 buildings. The Best Western has a minimum number of units they prefer in their hotels, in the resorts. So we're a little bit under that. We're going to be building more buildings, and they're allowing us to be a part of the program, even though we're a little bit smaller than the typical Best Western is at this point. But we will be growing the inventory of rooms. Like you said, there's 4 buildings currently. We expect to build another 6 eventually. It's a pretty big property that we're on here, in a horseshoe shape with the gardens in the center, and yeah, it's going to be very, very pretty. We just finished designing the 5th building this last week or the week before, and that's been submitted to construction companies for their proposal. And as soon as we get past a little bit more of this virus thing, then we're going to be beginning the construction on that. So, hoping to get as much of that done in the off season as we can. We're seeing, it's kind of a little off topic, but we're seeing a lot of, obviously we work with the OTAs a lot, the online travel agents, and we get statistics from the Expedias and the Travelocities and Booking.com, and what they're telling us is there's a kind of a pent up demand for accommodations coming up probably in the September to October timeframe, because that's when people are really planning to get out and hoping to get out, I guess, and be able to travel again. So we're expecting potentially a little bit earlier high season than normal, and probably carried through longer in the year, just because this last season was a bit of a mess. So we're trying to get ahead of that curve. We know there's going to be a real demand. We expect the occupancy to be high. Best Western won't give you an exact number of what they expect, but we've talked to other Best Westerns in the Caribbean region, and so we know that we can expect a pretty high boost in occupancy, and also in ADR, which is the average daily rate. So for owners, they can expect we have 2 types of owners. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit here, Kate, but we have 2 types of owners. We have the people that want to retire or just live in Belize and Ambergris Caye, it's a beautiful place to live, and they'll buy a unit in one of our properties here, like these at the Gardens, and live in the unit, not rent it out. But a lot of, probably 80% maybe or so of our owners are buying for the return on investment, the ROI that they expect to get back from the unit. And so we're pretty excited about the whole Best Western program, because obviously they not only increase the occupancy, we think significantly, as well as the ADR, the nightly rate, but also they're lowering our cost of acquisition of guests, which makes a big difference too to the bottom line. Less cost to get people to come here. We, as part of the Best Western program, we have to pay the Expedias and so on less because of the buying power that Best Western has. So all in all, it's a really good story, and our owners are pretty excited about getting into the Best Western program.
So how much is it per night that the Best Western recommend that you rent these out for on a vacation basis? Is it still going to be between 95 and 150 depending on the season?
Yeah, I would say it's about in the 140s, kind of on average. Best Western doesn't exactly tell you what you need to do for that. You kind of play the market and see. Obviously, there's lots of seasonal changes. There's lots of different times. We also have different types of units. We have smaller 1-bedrooms, larger 1-bedrooms, and 2-bedroom units. So it depends on what type of unit, obviously, renting as well. But the smaller 1-bedrooms we expect, will be in the probably averaging about $140 US per night.
Mm-hmm. And they don't give occupancies rates, do they? I mean, they usually, I don't know. I mean, you can hope that normally, if you base your numbers on about 50% and then look at what you're investing. The reason I mentioned that, so hello everybody that is just joining us. So my name is Kate Corrigan of Keller Williams Belize, based here on Ambergris Caye, and today I'm speaking with Patrick Hiebert. He's the Chief Operating Officer, I have to go look at that every time, of ECI Development. And today we're talking about Best Western coming to Belize and taking over what used to be Grand Baymen Gardens and is now Best Western Grand Baymen Gardens. Is that correct? So if you're looking it up, what's the correct name for it?
Yes, it's the Best Western Grand Baymen Gardens.
Best Western Grand Baymen Gardens. So one of the reasons I wanted to highlight this is that Grand Baymen has been here a little while, and we've got 4 lovely buildings that are already here. Some people bought when it was at the very, very beginning, and it no longer fits within their portfolio. So I personally have a few listings here where we have some motivated sellers that are ready to sell. They've gotten older. They no longer see Belize in their future, although they've lived and loved it for the last 4 or 5 years since owning their property. So I have a couple of properties that are looking at a resale, and they're under $125,000, which is an exceptional price for a condo on an island in the Caribbean Sea, anywhere in the Caribbean. And with the vision of now going forward to being a Best Western hotel, you also have what the returns on investment that you should expect by being a part of a hotel chain. Not only do you have the opportunity to buy something now that's already built for you, but they are going to be opening up some new opportunities in new buildings that are going to be going up soon. So when will you, have you already released the Fleet building for sale, Patrick, or are you going to be doing a boost on that too?
We have released reservations on the Fleet building, and I believe I'm not as close to the sales side as some of our other staff are, but I believe about 60% spoken for at this point, and like I said, we're looking to start construction on that very soon. But I mean, one of the nice things about the gardens here is that it's an existing property with 4 buildings already. We talked about the pool, the tennis courts, the gym. It's not a pipe dream, right? So you have units in your portfolio for sale right now, and I think I can't think of a better time. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to make all sorts of promises on what your ROI will be and everything, and occupancy and ADRs and all that. We have a pretty good idea of what we think it'll be. based on being a Best Western. And I think it'll be great. And I think people that are looking at buying right now, the timing couldn't possibly be better. You're getting in at a moment before we are, releasing ourselves as a Best Western. We're hoping to do that. It depends on how this, the latest quarantining thing shakes out, but we're hoping to do that for the upcoming high season, which is around December. And if all goes well, it's an ideal time for somebody to buy right now. I've got to admit, I'm looking at the units that are for sale myself because
I'll be in touch
not?
after the webinar. I'll send you the details.
Right,
you know what's available, and that there are people that are. I say these people bought, early on in their retirement, and they're now, it just doesn't fit in their portfolio. They've had grandbabies. They want to be more at home. They're not traveling as much due to health issues or something. It could be a number of things, and I'd be happy to share with you why somebody is selling, should you like me to, depending on the unit and what I'm allowed to tell you, of course. But I think that this is a great time to get in on these properties. You do have all the amenities. Now, currently, the Homeowners Association fees here, Patrick, are about $180 per month for the smaller 430 square foot unit. That includes all the external maintenance of the building, the ground, pool and gym and membership as well. It also includes property management is on site from 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, or 7 to 7, one of the two, and then security come on in the evening time from 6 to 6 a.m. as well. So on-site property management, on-site security, access to the pool, all the exterior maintenance, and the owners are responsible for the ACs and windows in of your unit. But once, is the HOA of $180 per month going to be changing, or will that stay the same within the Best Western program, do you know?
At the current time, there's no anticipated change to that HOA fee. That's If it does change, it would be in a year or two, and it would, be a small percentage and just in cost of living increase kind of thing. But at this point, there's no expected change in that. Yeah,
and one of the other amazing things about Belize is our property taxes are tiny. So
exactly.
The property tax for one of these units is about $600 per year, and it's paid around this time, April, May, and it's $600 a year. They have just increased it to that amount, so I can't see any further increase happening in the very near future. And the agreements between owners and Best Western, are they coming close to what is the property management agreement there, as in splits between owners and Best Western and you guys?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, one of the nice things about the Best Western is it not only increases occupancy and nightly rates, it also helps us cut the costs a little bit. And so we recreated first of all, the agreement with Best Western is between us, as in ECI, the holding company, and Best Western. But then the agreement between an owner of a unit is between us, being ECI or Baymen Gardens, and the owner. Right. And that rental agreement, we just revamped that, and it's just got back from our lawyers, and we sent it out to our existing owners about a week or so ago. So it gives them a chance to look at it and sign up as part of the Best Western program. What used to cost us 25% of the gross nightly rate for what we call guest acquisition fee, and that's those fees to those OTAs, the online travel agents, the Expedias, Booking.com, etc. Is now down to 15% because of the buying power of the Best Western has allowed us to do that. So that's 10% of the bottom line right there that's increased. So not only do we get the higher occupancy, higher rates, but we get lower costs, which I think is going to turn around and make a much more substantial ROI for our owners. So we're very much encouraged about that and looking forward to getting under the Best Western flag.
It sounds like a good time to get in. So I'm really, really thankful that you took the time with me to do this interview today. It's one of my first, so do excuse me. But I think it's really important with such great things happening on such a small little island. And I think that if you are wanting to get a second home somewhere, the ECI not only has this Best Western Grand Baymen opportunity here, we can also introduce you to other things that they have going on, not only in Belize, but in Nicaragua and Panama and Costa Rica. There's many different things that we can certainly introduce you to. So if you are interested in finding out more about this opportunity here at Grand Baymen on Ambergris Caye, or any of the other opportunities through ECI Development and their group of companies, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I've been speaking today with Patrick Hiebert from ECI Development, who is the Chief Operations Officer for ECI, and we are here on Ambergris Caye, and my contact information is kate@frontstreetbelize.com, or you can call me on 321-300-9399. Patrick, thank you so much. Do you plan on doing any other crazy adventures this week? Getting out on the? Do you have your own boat here?
Yeah, I'm from the Pacific Northwest up by Vancouver Island in Canada, so I really miss sailing. And if you're a Northwestern sailor from up there, you really, dream about sailing in the Caribbean. So it's not a very big boat and it's not a great boat, but I had to get a boat. So my son is actually down here right now and got into the quarantine here in Belize as well, and he loves sailing as well. So we've been going out almost every evening lately. So it's been wonderful. I mean, if for somebody who hasn't been here, it's probably some of the most spectacular waters to sail on in the world. So I can't complain about being stuck on Ambergris Caye. So.
Well, enjoy your sail this evening. I'm actually quite jealous. I don't get out enough. I don't have a boat, but I love to dive. For those of you who don't know, we are on the just opposite the second largest barrier reef in the world. I think it might be the largest living barrier reef. There's over 150 dive sites that's literally a 5-minute boat ride from the shore. And whether you love sailing, whether you love diving, snorkeling, whether you love bar hopping with great music and meeting with friends on a weekly basis, daily basis, Ambergris Caye certainly has a lot to offer. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Put your questions in the comment box or email or private message me. Thank you ever so much, Patrick. See you again soon.
Thank you very much, Kate. I enjoyed it. I'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.